Minutes after J. Jonah Jameson outs Peter Parker as Spider-Man, Peter snatches MJ to get away from the crowd of shocked New Yorkers, who genuinely believe he organized the London drone assaults from Mysterio. Peter swings with MJ to attempt to move away from crowd, however news choppers swarm them. They swing through the subway and figure out how to move away. Peter and MJ return to the Parkers' apartment, where Aunt May and Happy have recently broke up, however before long see the news about Peter's identity being uncovered. While Peter attempts to figure out what happened with May and Happy, they see the news choppers outside the condo, and Peter must choose the option to comply with the authorities. Peter, MJ, and Ned are grilled by police for their apparent association in terrorist activities. MJ and Ned protects Peter, however he figures out how to track down a lawyer to assist with dropping charges, a blind attorney Matt Murdock. Despite the fact that Peter attempts to get back to a typical way of life, he is nagged by individuals who think he is either a hero or a threat. Peter attempts to make it work per the assurance of his friends. They focused on their college applications, but they were all rejected due to late events. Even their safety school, MIT, rejects them all. Peter feels liable for his friends' lives being destroyed because of their relationship with him. Peter visits the Sanctum Sanctorum to visit Doctor Strange to ask as to whether he would be able to return to the past to keep people from learning his secret identity. Yet Strange thinks altering time was already risky when the Avengers saved the world from Thanos. He then comes up with an idea that could fix things, in spite of the fact that Wong cautions Strange that the outcomes could be catastrophic. After he leaves, Strange disregards Wong and brings Peter down to a lower level where he starts to project the spell so everybody will fail to remember that he is Spider-Man. Peter begins to make changes in the spell, as he actually needs MJ, Ned, May and Happy to know that he is Spidey, and this makes the spell weaken and destabilize, however Strange figures out how to fix it. At the point when Peter makes reference to that he didn't contact the MIT chairman to converse with them about rethinking for MJ and Ned prior to requesting the spell, Strange scolds Peter. Peter reaches out to Flash, who is claiming to be Spider-Man's dearest friend and assists Peter with attempting to reach the MIT administrator, as she is going to the airport and is going across the Alexander Hamilton Bridge. Peter makes it there through a gridlock and starts to converse with the administrator, however his Spidey senses go off. Mechanical arms start erupting from underneath the scaffold, and people start leaving their vehicles. Ascending from under the scaffold is Dr. Otto Octavius Dr. Octopus. He tends to Peter, who gets ready as Spidey to battle him. He attempts to continue the administrator, yet Doc Ock continues to go after him. At the point when the administrator's vehicle goes over the side of the scaffold, Spidey figures out how to web it up securely before Doc Ock gets him under the bridge and rips off a piece of the Spidey suit's nanotech, which joins itself to his tentacle. However, on account of the suit's customizing, Peter can handle the arms and uses them to pull the administrator up to somewhere safe. Otto then sees that this Peter isn't the Peter Parker he's familiar with and whom he faults for his failed reactor experiment. She lets Peter know that he is a hero and that she will converse with the board about MJ and Ned's applications, as well as his. All at once, a cackling figure tosses a pumpkin bomb onto the scaffold and explodes a few vehicles. Norman Osborn Green Goblin rides in, and Otto remembers him, yet Peter is then gotten through one of Strange's portals. Strange shows Peter that he has created holding cells in the sanctum, where he keeps Otto, as well as Dr. Terse Connors the reptile. Strange says that because of Peter messing with the spell, people from other multiverses that realize Peter is Spider-Man have gotten through. Strange gives Peter a magic gauntlet that permits him to catch the multiverse figures, and Peter gets MJ and Ned to assist. Strange permits them to help from the sanctum's basement. While they attempt to find the other, Otto noticed that it's impossible that he could see Norman since he passed on years earlier before Otto became Doc Ock. Peter goes out at night towards a field with colossal electrical towers. He observes Max Dillon electro-siphoning energy from the tower, and when he shouts to Max, he starts to fire electrical bolts toward Spidey. He is safeguarded by Rock Marco Sandman, who recalls how Peter Parker helped him after a prior adventure, yet Peter needs to make sense of that he isn't the Peter that Sandman knows. Peter then rips off the charge from the tower to bring Max down. His former glowing blue body gets back to normal appearance. Peter then utilizes the gauntlet to send Max and Sandman to the holding cells. Norman wakes up from his goblin persona and crushes his helmet prior to withdrawing to the feast community where May works. She calls Peter and lets him know that he is there. Norman seems shaky, meandering aimlessly about how he is in a place he is new to, and makes reference to his son. May urges Peter to help Norman. Jameson keeps reporting against Spider-Man on his show, and connects with his folks about Peter's location to attempt to catch him for a big story. Peter brings Norman to the sanctum, where he recognizes Otto. Sandman takes note of that both Norman and Otto are dead in his universe, while Reptile perceives Max from his previously geeky appearance, and Max recognizes the Reptile's rampage across New York where he attempted to turn everybody into animals such as himself. Strange then comes in with an artifact called the Machina de Cadavers, which contains the bungled spell and will be utilized to send the lowlifes back to their universes. In any case, after Peter discovers that they are completely destined to bite the dust battling Spider-Man, he feels that there is a substitute method for fixing things. He swipes the remnant from Strange and escapes into the roads with it. Strange isolates Peter's soul from his body, yet his reflexes assist him with evading Strange, and gets himself back together to escape. Strange then pulls Spidey into the mirror dimension as Peter actually attempts to persuade Strange there must be a better method for fixing things without allowing bad guys to bite the dust. At the point when Spidey understands that the mirror dimension is like geometry, he can figure out how to trap Strange in web and secure the artifact prior to getting away and leaving Strange there and taking his portal maker. Peter proposes another arrangement where he will fix the anti-heroes of their corruption prior to sending them home to keep away from their destinies. He leaves the artifact with MJ and Ned prior to taking the lowlifes to his and May's new condo where he tracks down parts important to take care of business. Peter shows the anti-heroes and Stark Fabricator that will make what they need. However, Max is attracted to the energy radiated by the Bend reactor. With Norman's assistance, Peter fosters another chip for Otto that will permit him to be in charge of the limbs as opposed to the opposite way around. Otto returns the nanotech to Peter's suit, and Peter gives Max a gadget that will empty the electric power out of his body. Tragically, his Spidey senses go off, and he discovers Norman returning to Goblin trying to undermine the arrangement. Goblin persuades Max to embrace his power and reject the fix. Max and Sandman retreat together while Reptile breaks out of the truck he was in. Goblin throws Otto through the window, however he escapes similarly as Jameson and his team seize them. Spidey battles Goblin as the lowlife crushes him through the floors of the structure while May gets the Goblin cure and runs. At the point when they catch Goblin at the floor level, May endeavors to inject him with the antitoxin, yet it doesn't work, and Goblin utilizes his glider to strike May prior to making his break and terminating pumpkin bombs at the news team and officers outside. May picks herself up and goes to Peter. He faults himself for this and feels that he ought to have paid attention to Strange, yet May lets him know he made the best choice and advises him that with great power comes great responsibility. They begin to leave, yet May acknowledges she has been seriously harmed. Peter stays close by as she dies. The SWAT team comes to surround the structure and fire at Peter, however he gets away. Happy drives by and sees May dead, and he is caught by authorities. May's passing is reported on the news, with Jameson accusing Spider-Man, and Peter feeling immensely guilty over it. MJ and Ned attempt to utilize the portal maker to find Peter. Ned figures out how to inspire it to function and tracks down Peter. With the exception of it's not their Peter. This other Spider-Man leaps out through the entryway into Ned's grandmother's room. He persuades MJ and Ned that he is Peter Parker. At the point when Ned attempts once more, he finds one more Peter Parker. The two Spider-Man meet, and Toby Peter says that he has been attempting to find the Peter of this universe to help out him. Since MJ and Ned don't have the foggiest idea where to find him, the two Peters figure he should be some place that they typically go to get away from their problems. MJ knows where to track down him. MJ and Ned find their Peter on the top of the structure where they hung out before. They console him over May's death, and he communicates his regret over attempting to help the villains. The other Peters emerge to attempt to converse with Tom Peter, however he would rather not hear it, as he is presently consumed by rage and scorn for Goblin. Toby Peter brings how he wanted the one who killed his Uncle Ben to die, yet when he got his wish, it didn't cheer him up. Andrew Peter mentions his guilt in neglecting to save Gwen Stacy. At the point when Tom Peter in the long run acknowledges what his variants have gone through, he realizes that he can't let May have died in vain. The three Peters keep on attempting to make the cure, while likewise being amazed by one another's extraordinary capacities. Tom Peter communicates his concerns to MJ, who guarantees him that she will be close by. He then settles on a decision to the Daily Bugle for Jameson's show to converse with all of New York and assure them he made this mess, he will fix it. Spider-Man baits the miscreants to the Statue of Liberty where they are adding a Captain America shield, while MJ and Ned monitor the artifact. The Peters discuss other previous encounters, similar to Toby Peter battling the symbiote and Tom Peter battling Thanos, while Andrew Peter mourns battling Rhino, yet the other two guarantee him that he is as yet amazing. Before long, Sandman, Reptile, and Electro show up and start to battle the Spider-Men. While the Legends attempt to oversee the cures, they continue to get knocked down. They resolve to take special targets, and the three Spideys swing together in real life. Toby Peter battles Sandman by figuring out how to give him the cure so he can get back to being Flint, and Toby Peter vows to bring him home to his daughter. Reptile pursues MJ and Ned when he sees the open portal, making them run out onto the scaffolding. Tom Peter figures out how to get Reptile and transforms him back into Kurt. Electro proves to be strong. Otto returns and helps Andrew Peter by eliminating the arc reactor with his arms and setting the cure onto his chest. While Max is remorseful, Andrew Peter holds nothing against him, and Max is appreciative. Goblin comes flying in on his glider for the attack. Ned figures out how to get Strange out of the mirror dimension and he watches the three Spideys in action. Goblin makes the scaffolding break down, and MJ falls over the edge. Tom Peter tries to rescue her, however the glider hits him. Andrew Peter bounces in and saves MJ, and he momentarily seems to feel redeemed for Gwen. Tom Peter utilizes one of Goblin's bombs to separate the glider and crash onto the collapsed Captain's shield. He webs Goblin down and starts to pummel him in fury. Tom Peter then snatches the glider and gets ready to pierce him, however Toby Peter comes in and stops him. Goblin betrays Toby Peter, and he starts giggling at Tom Peter for neglecting to save May, yet he infuses him with the cure and totally eliminates Goblin from Norman's body, and he feels incredible regret for harming his Peter. A crack then opens up overhead, with additional likely villains going to get through the multiverse barriers, and Strange says he can't prevent them from getting through. Peter then recommends a last spell where not just individuals would fail to remember that he is Spider-Man, yet they will forget about him period. This implies that even Strange, MJ, Ned and Happy will all fail to remember what Peter's identity is, yet it is the best way to fix things. Peter says goodbye to his variations with a gathering embrace, all recognizing each other as siblings, and he goes to let MJ and Ned know what needs to occur. Ned sorrowfully says goodbye to his best friend, while Peter and MJ affirm their love for each other and share one final kiss before he leaves. Everybody is then gotten back to their own universe. Jameson keeps on defaming Spidey in the media. Peter presently lives alone, with no one knowing his identity is. He goes to the cafe where MJ works and tracks down her and Ned. They are still friends and have both gotten into MIT. Peter converses with MJ briefly prior to leaving. He later visits May's grave, where Happy is also and asks how Peter knew her. He says through Spider-Man, and both he and Happy recognize the number of individuals that May made a difference. Peter gets back to his loft, where he utilizes a police scanner to tune in on any crimes. He then keeps on satisfying his obligations to safeguard New York as Spider-Man.